My name is John Kim. I'm a therapist who decided to show himself many years ago after divorce, something therapists aren't supposed to do. I'm casual over clinical, put things into a shot glass, bring them to street level because self-help doesn't have to be so complicated. One of the common frustrations I get from my clients is, how do we make friends as adults? Before I give you my tips, I'll give you two quotes. One is by Matthew Lieberman, and he says our need to connect is as fundamental as our need for food and water. And my other quote is from a person named Garth Cook, Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. And he says, the data suggests that we are profoundly shaped by our social environment and that we suffer greatly when our social bonds are threatened or severed. When this happens in childhood, it can lead to long-term health and educational problems. People may not like the fact that we are wired such that our well-being depends on our connections with others, but the facts are the facts. And I wanted to start with those quotes because I wanted to prove to you or really emphasize how important it is to have friends. I know for me, just like, about 10 years ago, or most of my 20s and 30s, I didn't think friends were important. I thought friends were extra. I was, all about building something. And of course, most of my life I've been in relationships. So I was like, it's just about spending all your time with your partner. Your partner is your best friend. Why do you need friends? Who cares about friends? And it's not that I didn't have friends. Well, actually, no, I didn't have friends. I had a lot of acquaintances, but not like real friends, right? And I always just saw it as like on the bottom of my priority list to invest in and have friends. So today, after my whole journey and rebirth, post-divorce, I have realized how important friends are. I mean, if it wasn't for my friends, I don't know if I would have come out the other side. It was a group of friends, about 5, that I spent with almost every day and did life together, where they encouraged me and championed my story and really sharpened me and pulled me out of my quicksand, my winter. So friends are important, and here are some tips on how to make friends as adults, because as we get older, this is what happens. This is why it's hard to make friends as adults. One, the plug-and-play social structures disappear as we leave school, right? So when we're younger, friends are basically delivered to us, right? They come in the form of field trips and sports teams and social clubs, and then in college, maybe fraternities and sororities and all of that, right? And so we're just like one courageous, extroverted decision away from entering any of these micro communities. They're just built in. But then, of course, as we become adults, the delivery stops. There's no more Postmates for friends. Our communities shrink. And then we have to work hard, or actually make it a priority to make friends, because, friends don't just fall out of the sky. On top of that, as we get older, we get married, we have children, and our friends' road forks. Like the friends that we have can't relate to us because we are now creating our own family, right? And especially if they don't have children themselves, or if they're not married. I mean, how many friends do you know who get married and suddenly they just disappear? You never see them again, right? So all that shit happens, and then we're left with being alone, or we're left with not having a lot of friends. And so what do? We just put all the weight on finding the one, or if you're in a relationship, we put a lot of weight on the relationship. And then if that's not quote unquote perfect, or if that doesn't make us happy, then we become depressed. And here's the thing, by not having friends, we actually put more pressure on the relationship or other parts of our lives, or if we're parents, our children, raising children, And so it's not fair to them. It's not fair to our partner if we're putting more pressure on the relationship because we are lacking our own personal tribe. And I believe that every relationship, the individuals of that relationship should have their own friends. Now, of course, they can overlap, and her friends can be your friends, or his friends can be your friends, whatever. But you should have your own top five. You should have your own friends, and of course, friends change. And I always tell my clients that history alone isn't enough to be friends, because a lot of people are friends with very negative people, people who have not grown since high school, and we are friends with them because of our history, and we feel that we need to be loyal to them, or because maybe they helped us, in some of our darkest times, and so we owe it to them to be their friends or whatever. But listen, just because you were friends with someone since high school or college, or they've helped you with something or a part of your life back in the day, doesn't mean that you now owe it to them to be friends with them for the rest of your life. It's, people change, people outgrow each other.
We'll be right back after this brief message.
Let's talk about protein. And we all know the importance of protein. Protein is a building block of any healthy diet. It's what our organs, muscles, hair, and skin are made of. So I've been using Care of protein, and here's a difference. The Care of protein powder has clean label protein made of ingredients you can recognize from the best sources, such as whey from free-range grass-fed cows, or vegan plant protein made of organic peas, hemp seeds, and pumpkin seeds. Care of protein powders are also low in sugar. This is huge, especially for me, because I have a sugar addiction. So it's only 1 to 4 grams and between 150 calories. So you can get your protein without all the sugar, right? Care provides honest guidance for their protein powders based on scientifically established diet guidelines, clinical research in a way that's clear and easy to understand. And finally, this is the most important piece, Care is delicious and formulated with real natural ingredients and flavors you recognize from your own pantry. So I'm going to give you a discount code for 30% off your first order of Care of. Go to takecareof.com and enter Angry Therapist 30. Get your protein in, guys. If you have friends that are negative or toxic, or they're basically pulling you away from yourself, then you really have to reevaluate if you want to invest in that friendship. Anyway, okay, here are my tips on how to make friends as adults. The first tip is to actually set the intention. Nothing gets done, period, without setting any kind of intention. So set the intention, to yourself first, that you want to make new friends. You got to put the energy out there. You got to make that announcement to yourself. You got to soak it into your subconscious. And then when we're going out, when we're going through our day and just doing life without setting an intention, we're not open to it. But by setting the intention, then we create opportunities that we probably didn't see before when we didn't set the intention. Okay, so that's number one. The next step is to participate in communities. And I like this idea of killing two birds. So pick a passion or an interest, and then engaging with that community. So the obvious one would be fitness. And if you didn't get the email, fitness is now done through communities, right? No one goes to the gym by herself and just walks on a treadmill reading the Us Weekly. We do CrossFit, we do yoga, we do Pilates, spin, boot camp, boxing, right? And it's just it's growing and growing. And people are doing more unique and different things and combining different movements. The way that we sweat is endless today, but we do it in community. So go get ClassPass, or go sign up or drop in. Try the different communities. Try everything twice. Don't just do it once and then you don't like it. Give it another chance. And the other piece, and this is actually the more important piece, it's the other half of the coin, right? The second bird to kill, and that is to socialize in the community. Now, I know it takes time. So, when you drop in on your first day, you're not going to try to like talk to everyone. But the more that you get involved in the community, the more that you get to meet people, you're basically going on a micro journey, right? Every class, in this case, we're talking about fitness, but every class there's some kind of micro journey. There's a little thing, a hero's journey that everyone is doing together, and everyone is sweating and slaying their dragons and kind of coming out the other end. And because of that, whenever we do that, just as human beings, we form a connection. So there's no difference between going to summer camp. Well, I mean, on paper there's a difference, but I'm saying the process. There's no difference between going to summer camp or taking a 1 hour fitness class. The process is the same, meaning the thing that you do. It's not about the activity. It's about the human exchange, the human connection. The space is created for you to bond with someone, right? So engage. Don't just exercise. Engage. Also, every community has a ton of things that are like events and dinners and all of that, right? So that's another opportunity for you to engage in. So participate in communities. You can use your phone as a tool, but you're not going to establish real relationships by engaging on your phone, right? You're going to establish real engagement and real relationships through eye contact, through conversations, through energy, and all the ways all the things that make us human. So, and right now, technology is pulling us away from those things. So we definitely need to make an effort to exercise those muscles. Here are a few more examples of communities to engage with: art, photography, cooking classes, workshops, hiking clubs, rock climbing groups, music events, wellness festivals, adventure retreats, right? Even like co-working spaces, which is a big thing now. If you, like me, work remote and from home, then go to a co-working space. And in the co-working space, it's not just about making friends with people around you, because most people are working and probably don't want to be bothered. But the events that they run, right? All of that. And also, what about those like fitness events? So not classes, but like the Spartan race or Tough Mudder. When you do it with a small group, and suddenly, again, you're going on a journey with people, and this journey naturally produces friendship glue. One of the things that I've done is I've played around with the Airbnb experiences. So on the Airbnb app, there's something called experiences, and they're basically local, affordable experiences in your city that you can participate with in a small group. And I think they're awesome, and they're cheap. It's like you spend $30-$40, and instead of going to a movie, you're engaging with real people, and that's hung on a common activity. So that's really cool. I've also done 2-week dirt bike trips in small groups, and of course that's more expensive. But that was fucking epic. And I've also held my own dinner. So like I created a dinner with a friend. We would do it once a month called 9, where we invited 9 strangers to talk about things that you would never talk to strangers about, right? So that was interesting, and that was a way to engage. And finally, I've also run my own retreats and gathers. So you can do all of these things, and it's a way to create space, to create connection. And I want to remind you that if you don't create connection with other people, hence make friendships, then you are disconnecting with yourself, because we are tribal creatures. We're not meant to do life alone. And it's through our engagement and our human exchange that we learn and we grow and we find joy and meaning and happiness. So friends are important. Those are 2 tips on how to make friends as adults. So basically we're doing it through communities, micro communities these days. And let me just give you one final tip. Don't say no to anything social. Get the fuck out there. You're not going to make friends by ordering Postmates and watching Netflix every weekend. Sometimes the best things happen when we least expect them. You know this. And sometimes we meet the coolest people doing the dumbest shit. And so if you're invited to something, just go. It may not fall into the perfect event or what you want to do, but you may actually use that as an exercise to stretch yourself, right? To do something that's uncomfortable. Stretching yourself is a form of connecting to yourself. You are exploring, and without exploration, there is no connection. So turn your dial to explore and lock it there, and don't say no to anything social. All right, those are a few tips on how to be friends as adults. If you found that helpful, or if you have friends looking for new friends, pass this podcast along. And thank you for listening. I hope you subscribe. Be well. Hey, two things. One, thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. And two, if you find any of this dialogue helpful, please share it with someone who you believe it can help as well. The whole point of this is to create a conversation that can help others. And also, if you want me in your phone, I am now sending text once a week to people. All you have to do is text the number 55222, keyword angry, all caps, ANGRY, and I will send you a text about once a week. This is not a bot. This is directly from me. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hey, if you have a passion to help others and want to become a life coach, or you just want to acquire tools to change your own life, learn more about our Catalyst Life Coaching Intensive. We are an evidence-based training program with an amazing, authentic, vibrant community, and we give lifetime support. Just go to my website, theangrytherapist.com, and click on Life Coach Training.